Here we are, middle of July. Gonna give you a garden update. What we're looking at here is a short row of magic lantern pumpkins. These got in a little bit late, but I still have enough time to get ripe pumpkins before Halloween, so it'll be sometime in September, late September, which is fine with me. A lot of people want them early in September, but nice pumpkins are going to bring good money no matter when you have them, except after Halloween. Alright, well, let's get on with the tour here. This is all irrigated with drip tape irrigation, the whole garden. The master line there coming down. These are gizmo gourds. This is a variety available from Harris Seeds, and they make a variety of interesting looking gourds. Look, they have some setting fruit down in there, a couple of them. Some of these get quite big, so there's a bunch of different shapes that come out of that pack of gourds, but these I started in 4-inch pots up on the deck because I didn't know where I wanted to put them. So here they are outside the fence. I'm going to have them grow across the lawn. I've done that already. There's an area of lawn that ain't all that great, and I've done that in the past with pumpkins and gourds, and they did really nice. Okay, I just put in this row of cucumbers the other day for my late cucumbers. I got 3 varieties. I got Diva, I got Sweet Slice, and then I got Market More 76. All different times of maturity. And we have a row. The rhubarb here is leafing out nicely that we put in. I still got some little seedless watermelons to put in, but I don't know if I'll even get anything off them at this point. These are my sangria watermelons here. There's a couple plants that I didn't get in. They're looking a little poorly, but they will spring back if I get them in the ground. So the watermelons are, look, they even have some little watermelons on them. These ones in a pot. See that? A little. Now those will most likely shrivel up and never mature, but they're on there just the same. They set fruit. If I put these in the ground, they might. I don't know. My experience is they usually shrivel up and fall off, and then fruit will set later. It's best to do that anyhow. You don't want them putting all the energy into making fruit when they should be rooting in and spreading out. Now this is where I wanted to put that row of watermelon right there. You can see up on my pile of wood I got all kinds of gourds growing up there. We had dumped some baskets of old gourds over there, and well, every seed under the sun germinated. Here we have some Athena muskmelons, or cantaloupes we call them here. These are looking nice. My first ones I killed by accident. I watered them real heavy, and then we got about 2 inches of rain that next week, and it just rotted out around the stems. It was too wet here for them. If I wouldn't have overwatered them, they would have been fine, but that was my fault, so I had to replant them. And then this row here was cantaloupe too, but I didn't have any more seeds or plants. So I put in a row of carnival squash here. Look at there. I got a beetle on there. We don't want that. I gotta spray them. I haven't sprayed anything yet. I've been lucky so far. My swimming pool works as a beetle trap. Thing's full of beetles every day. So that's carnival squash. That's real attractive. People will buy that as an ornament or eating. Most people don't know you can eat it, but you can. Here we have a row of Clancy red potatoes. They're looking real nice and clean, healthy. And then we have a nice row of eggplant here. I picked a few already. Picked a few of the epics. This here variety, epic. Coming down through here. We got some little ones on there, but you know, when they're little, that's when they're best. Here we have some Rosa Bianca. That's an Italian variety. It's really, the chefs like these. Look at these. I can pick that. That's ready to pick. I can take that up to the produce stand and sell that today yet. So I got some nice roses in here. They're ready to be picked. You know, they don't need to be any bigger than that, but they certainly do get bigger. Of course, when they get bigger, they get seedier. So this is a variety down here called Galaxy of Stars. And they haven't set any fruit yet, but that's a purple and white striped variety. You can see how the gourds are all growing up on the deer fence here. That's what I want. I want this entire fence covered with gourd vines. It looks so cool when they're maturing and you have gourds hanging all over the fence, and you can pick them just by walking down on the along the outside of the fence, and they look real nice, and it keeps them clean and makes them easy to spray for powdery mildew. Keeps the vines up off the ground and healthier. See, I got gourds going all the way down here on my fence. So I got a couple 100 feet of fencing here, and it'll have gourds growing on every bit of it by the end of the year. Here somehow I messed up and got some bumblebees or something in here. I'm not sure what these are. This was supposed to be red grape tomatoes, but somehow I got two plants mixed in there by accident. And then my red grapes start. See, I have fruit all the way up here at the top. Small fruit, and then the bottoms, look at these clusters here. Nice. Big clusters of grape tomatoes. They're starting to turn. I picked some. Every day I pick a couple. Nice. Nice clusters. These sell real well for me, these red grape tomatoes. So they're taller than I am right now. I'm 5'6", so I'd say they're at least 6 inches taller than me, and they'll start flopping over soon unless I come down along the sides and put up a bigger pole. But I usually let them flop, and then it makes it easier to pick when they're down lower. I don't want them on the ground, but I don't want them 6 feet in the air either. Alright, here we have some Italian frying peppers or roasting peppers. This row here is giant Marconi, and I have already picked off the first peppers, and we sold them already. And this is the second batch. And these plants are, they're at least 2.5 feet tall already, and they'll get every bit of, they'll get 4 feet tall, easy. I've had them taller than that already. The way I grow them with cages and on the black plastic with a drip irrigation underneath. Grass clippings between the rows to keep the weeds down and keep the mud from eroding away. And then this side here is a variety called Mamma Mia Galileo, and they turn a beautiful yellow. You see there's tiny little peppers on, but I took all the big ones off already. So I picked the first ones off so the plant will grow more. You'll get more height and more branches and more peppers and more everything when you get rid of that first pepper. Just like sometimes it's the first couple, like these could easily be removed here. These could be considered first peppers, but I'll wait till they get a little bigger before I pick them. And then over here we have a row of yellow grape tomatoes. This is a variety called Gold Spark I got from Harris Seed. I've been picking these already. These get really nice. They get big. Oh, look, this plant got out of the cage on me. You gotta go through here every day and pull them back in. Otherwise, they get away from you. See that? You gotta do that every day. Tuck them back in the cage to keep them in there. Oh, look. Here we got some that are turning. Oh, that's a beautiful yellow grape tomato. This is a little one. That's a little one. They get much nicer. As you can see, some of these clusters are looking pretty good. All the way up. All the way up. And I got these in late. I should have been picking these long ago, but I got a little bit of early blight in here that I think it's going to outgrow it, but I need to clean these plants up. Get rid of that. Now on this side, we have bell peppers. This is a variety called Sweet Bella Hybrid. And these plants, oh, they're easy, a little over 2 feet, I would say. And I picked the first peppers off of all the peppers, and these are what I have forming now up on top here. The other peppers were down in the crotch of the plant here. You always get one there, and you pull them out when they get a usable size. Some people clip them out right away, but I like to get something out of them. So these are looking pretty nice. I'm gonna, I normally cage them, but I ran out of cages, so I'm gonna stake these in. I'm gonna use twine, weave it in and out of that stake to hold them pepper plants up, because they certainly will fall over, or branches will snap off when they get too heavy. So if they have something to lean on, you can save yourself a whole branch full of peppers. Now we're here we got a nice set of Mountain Spring Hybrid. This is a red slicing tomato. It's a determinate variety. That means it sets its fruit and they ripen and it's done. Has a set amount of tomatoes that it'll give. It won't just keep going as long as the season will permit it, like an indeterminate. Like a lot of cherry tomatoes are indeterminate. They'll just keep going and going and going until the fruit is killed by frost. But these will not, a determinate will not do that. So these are my red slicers. I have 2 varieties I grow. This is Mountain Spring. And then down here on this end, we have a variety called Florida 47. Now I have a little bit of disease down here, but I'll need to spray for some blight. This is early blight. I need to come in here and clean these dead, dying branches out. The disease. You can control it a little better if you remove those. What do we have over here? Early Sensation peppers. Oh yeah. This is a nice yellow bell pepper that ripens real early. We already picked quite a few peppers off of these and sold them as green peppers. Alright, let's swing around over here. We got more bell peppers over here. Oh, this is my orange and my purple, or lavender. They're more lavender than purple, I guess. These are called orange marmalade, and they will turn orange relatively quickly, and you get a lot of fruit on there. Now these here are the first ones, so I'll end up picking them off. They set a lot of fruit real early. They were loaded, and I picked quite a few off of these already. And you can see the ones that had peppers on are very small, and the ones that didn't are a good 6 inches taller. Same goes with the other side. The lavender colored ones called Tequila Hybrid. And you know, this one here that didn't have any peppers on it is a good 2 foot tall, and this one that was loaded with peppers is only about 1.5 feet tall. So that's why you strip off all the peppers, to get more size out of your plants, because they'll be stunted. These, I'm ready to pull them off and take them up to the stand. They're big enough. I can sell those for a couple cents and get rid of them and get nicer, much bigger peppers later on down the line. See, these Tequila Hybrids are loaded here. They load up. They produce. I grew these last year and they were just beautiful and full of peppers. And I make all these beds by hand. There is a machine that you can hook up to a tractor that'll do that, but I don't have the room to bring a tractor in here. This is only, oh, I don't know. There's only 18 plants or so in a row, so 18 inches apart, you do the math. It's not a very big garden. And over here we have cherry tomatoes. I have 12 varieties of cherry tomatoes that I grow. This variety is called Firefly Hybrid. It's a pale yellow cherry, not a big cherry, but a nice size. Let me see if I can find one here. Here's some that are turning yellow now. Now these are a little pale. Now you can pick them green; they'll ripen up in a bowl. But you get an idea of what they look like. That's that pale yellow color. That's the way they look when they're ripe. These little green shoulders, some of that'll go away when it ripens in the house. That's Firefly. Then over here, these were also planted late. Here we have a variety called Pink Bumblebee. Now there's a number of different bumblebees, but here's what the pink bumblebee looks like. It looks like a little heirloom tomato. You know, they're pretty. So I have pink bumblebees, and then here's another pink. This is a purple bumblebee. It's a little darker, stripy. They're pretty. And I have pink, purple, and I have sunrise bumblebee also. These are sunrise. Aha, there's one. There's a sunrise bumblebee that's ready. Look at that. That's gorgeous, ain't it? That's a beautiful tomato. And I mix these up in pint tills and sell them for $2.50, which is wholesale compared to other places. But I just have a little roadside stand. I'm not here to get rich. Here we have a variety called Super Sweet 100. Everybody should be familiar with this one. This is a common one. They sit a lot of fruit and they're sweet. That's a small red cherry. I missed a variety here. Sun Orange Hybrid. Now, these are a beautiful variety compared to Sun Gold. These are Sun Orange, and they're really good. A really nice color too. Unfortunately, I don't have any ripe ones to show you. And we got these in a little late, so we're just starting to pick on these now for about a week. Couple here, couple there, and we can winding down the rows that got planted in last. I got some small peppers in here. These are Bounty Hybrid Sweet Bananas. And then down this end, I just put these in. They were Holy Mole Way peppers, hot pepper. Now these are really spindly, and you know, I just got these. The greenhouse had a sale and they had a lot of their junk left over, so they were super cheap, and I thought, I got 5 empty holes, I'm going to put them in. these plants will produce a nice pepper by the end of the year. These plants will get as tall as I am. They're just need. They've only been in the ground here maybe a couple days, so they're just getting to start to root in. Here's a nice variety. The giant. These get these big giant. See that color of green on there? But they get like 8 inches long. They're monstrous. And here we got a variety called Big Bertha PS Hybrid. This is a huge bell pepper. It's a monster. I had a few plants that I didn't know what to do with them. I just stuck in the end of this row. There, we're winding down here. I just planted these. These are my beefsteaks. This variety here, my heirlooms and my beefsteaks. This variety here is called Big Zack Hybrid. Now I had these in 4-inch pots, and they got really leggy and in bad shape, and I had to cut most of the branches off and leaves and trim them up. But they're rooting in now, and they're starting to get some new growth. These should have been in, like I said, a month ago, but hey, you can only do what you can do. With my back, I'm lucky I can do any of this. It amazes me that I can do any of this. I have 4 ruptured discs, and people say, I can't believe you get all that done. Well, a lot of pain goes along with it, but I love this stuff, and I just can't give it up. So this variety here, enough about me. Let's get back to the tomatoes. This is called Chef's Choice Bicolor. That's a big, it gets yellow on the outside, but when you slice it open, it has red stripes. Alright? So that kind of gives you an idea what that is, like a big heirloom. And this one here is Patty Stripe Beefsteak. And those are looking, they're starting to come around. They're starting to get flowers on. Oh, I'd say those are about 2.5 feet tall. But there's probably a foot in the ground. So I planted them deep because they were real leggy. And then this pathetic row here is my Mountain Gold, my yellow tomatoes. I just planted these. We'll be lucky to get a couple tomatoes out of here, but I'm sure they're in bad shape now. They were in pots on the patio way too long, but I couldn't get to them. So they're just starting to root in. I'm seeing new signs of some new growth right on top. And these I had a couple small ones that came up late, and they'll probably be the nicest ones. So that gourd's running down the fence here. A bunch of different varieties. I must have 100 different type of gourds that I have seed for. I should probably sell it. Here's a patch of Indian corn. Look at all this pokeberry that was in here. There was a monster mama pokeberry here before I plowed all this up, and look at all the seed she dropped. Oh my, I gotta get rid of that, and that's gonna be a real problem. But this is Wildest Pride Indian corn here, and I just have a couple rows. I think maybe next year I'm gonna grow this whole garden in Indian corn, just one crop. Maybe some pumpkins, gourds, and Indian corn, just my fall ornamentals. Who knows? Because I'll tell you what, planting all these tomatoes and I started all this from seed. So it's a lot of work. I like doing it, but there's a point when it becomes too much. So that's a view of my little garden. As you see, I like all my ducks in a row, neat. Everything's irrigated. Everything has a valve. I can turn the rows on and off as need be. If I don't want to water tomatoes, you know, if you're worried about them getting too much water, you turn the tomatoes off, and you let your peppers run, or you let your eggplant run. Eggplant, you never want to let your eggplant dry out, ever. You want to keep that ground moist. If you let them dry out, they will get tough on you. They don't like that. They like it hot, and they like it moist. And as you can see, these eggplant are all in cages, and they'll get 5 foot tall. I'll bet you they get almost 5 foot tall. and they'll be loaded. I'll get a lot of eggplant off of this. They benefit from being close together like that. So do peppers. And you get more pollen. Closer plants are to each other, you get cross-pollination. The bees don't have to hop from plant to plant when they're spread out, so you have them 6 feet apart. Now that bee has to go 6 feet just to find that other plant, where if he's working this row of flowers here, he just goes right down the row and has a great little day out for himself. So when they're tight like that, it works the same with fruit trees. If your fruit trees are spaced out far apart, you'll get a poorer fruit set than if the branches are touching. Say if you plant your fruit trees 20 feet apart and you got a couple feet, maybe 10 feet in between them trees, now that bee has to go 10 feet to get to the next tree. Whereas if they are closer together and the branches are touching, you'll get more fruit, you'll get a better pollination. It's proven. Alright, well there you have it. Don't be afraid to get out there and try to do something for yourself in the garden. It's a wonderful experience when you can take God's greatest creation, which I consider the seed, has all the information in it, that tiny little thing, to replicate itself and to provide fruit. And it's just amazing when you take that tiny little seed and you turn it into something you can eat. All right, well thanks for watching and have a great day.